What up guys, how's it going? Hope you're all good today. So we're back today and we have a special surprise. So I've now bought all the new DLCs and we are going to be rolling with Skarsnik, the sneakiest of all night goblins, and we're up against the Beastmen. So let's have a little look at our army. Now I'm going to have to pause this quickly because we're doing some very sneaky Goblin Tactics which I want to explain. So in the front line we have gone for 3 units of night goblins. They're pretty damn chaffy, but they are stalked, so they're hidden, the opponent can't see them until they get close, and they do fairly decent up against Beastmen infantry. Beastmen, apart from Bestigors, don't have the toughest of guys, so these guys, they can't hang with the best for too long, but, you know, they've got their arms up, they're excited, they're pumped, they do their job. Now in the back, we've gone for quite a small elite build for the Greenskins here. So we have gone for 2 units of Blackhawks in the front. These guys are super good and they should be able to beat down pretty much any Beastmen infantry. And in the back, we have gone for the Crimson Killers themselves. Probably the best great weapon unit in the game, I assume. I haven't done tests against everyone else. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to take anyone, even the Star Chamber Guardians. The only problem, of course, is people do try and snipe these guys out. You know, they're armoured, armour-piercing, anti-infantry, and of course, armed to the teeth. So they can kill actual several foes with each swing. If these guys can get in there, they can do a huge amount of damage. Now, we do have 2 giant spiders as well. So we have the Arachnarok spider here on the right. And with this new DLC, I can now use the Arachnarok Queen, which is super useful, as she can spawn little hatchlings, which are great at chasing down archers or chasing off routing units. We do, in fact, have a Night Goblin Shaman here with a couple of sneaky spells. So he has the Madcap Mushrooms with him. He also has Night Shroud, which can make an area of effect, which uses all the units you have in that area, have Stalk and are unspottable, which is super useful. It also has Itchy Nuisance and Sneaky Stabbing, which are both just 2 great spells anyway. And we have the sneakiest man of all time, or Goblin I should say, Skarsnik, with his little pet Gobbler here. So he is pretty damn decent combatant considering he's a goblin. He is anti-large and armor piercing. But the main thing we bring him for, apart from the fact he's just awesome, is this ability right here called Tricksy Traps. So much like the Shroud spell, everyone nearby increases in speed, gains stalk, and unspottable. Now this is super useful when you're taking things like Blackhawks and you want to get to the front line quickly, and the big spiders. He's also gone for Spite of the Bad Moon and Skarsnik's Prodder, and of course he's got War with him, which is overall super useful. So this big green kind of gassy stuff you can see floating around all these units here is making them unspottable. So at the moment, my entire army is invisible because of course these guys are hidden. Now for my opponent, I should go into slow-mo a little bit. He's gone for a front line of the Ungor Raiders for a little bit of added poke, but of course they can't currently see anything. And he's gone for a mixture of Ungor Spear Herds and just Gore Herds dotted around his army, forming a nice little bit of an onion round one of his big expensive monsters today, which is the Eye of Morslip, regiment renowned Cygor, which is a crazy amount of damage, throws these big boulders, goes for those absolute Kobe's, and he'd be super good against my Blackhawks. So of course at the moment he can't see them, so he can't throw anything. Now in the back he also has a couple of units of Centaurs, which we'll look at them throughout the battle because my opponent does some really fantastic play with them. They're very fast like Cav. And he also has right over here the Cowpats themselves, the Butchers of Kalkengard, regiment around Minotaurs. They're shielded, they have regen, no penalty if fighting in the forest. They're just a super cool tanky unit overall, pretty damn good in this matchup as they also cause terror, and of course Greenskins don't have the best leadership, especially those little goblins. Now he does have a Brave Shaman of Beast here, mainly going to be using this for the Manticore summon, but also has Flock of Doom and looks like Jagged Dagger there as well. And where's his lord? He's gone for the predictable choice, who's just, to be honest, the best Beastmen lord by quite a bit, I think. Morga the Shadowgate here, super tanky, hard to take down, and can summon those nasty Chaos Spawn. So let's get this battle underway. So of course at the moment, the Eye of Morslip did get 1 throw in, I think, early on, before my spell was dropped, but up until now, he's not been able to do too much at all. So these spiders did get a little bit overextended, a bit faster, but I do pop down Night Shroud on them. I just want to protect those 2 as much as possible. Don't want to let him know they're coming. I mean, he knows they're there, but I want to try and negate as much of the firepower as possible. He does do a nice frontal charge here with the Centaurs, but I'm going to counter charge the spiders, scare them off, and carry on breaking into this back line. Taking a bit of early firepower onto these Night Goblins, but that's all they're there for. They're here to take the damage. They're raising their little Goblin shield, and they're getting there and doing a decent job. Now it looks like the Cygor has switched his target now, and he is aiming at the Blackhawks, which of course is a fantastic choice. Although personally I'd be aiming for the Crimson Killers right now. We are popping the wall there just to allow ourselves to get in there a little bit quicker Plus we do have these goblins who have rushed in, and the spiders who have hopped on top of these archers. Looks like this other one's just chilling back a bit. Got the spite of the bad moon on him, and he's going to be charging in soon as well, trying to bust into that back line. These poor Night Goblins in the front have broken, but now the big guns are coming in, and we have the Blackhawks charging in. Itchy Nuisance has been popped down, and we're going for a real hardcore mash-up right here. The Crimson Killers also go charging in. Let's see some of their crazy attack animations. Looks like they all do slow down a little bit. They're going to be swinging their two axes, just cleaving these guys apart. However, the Cygor is focusing down this unit of Blackhawks here, doing a huge amount of damage actually. So we are trying to force into the back line with the Arachnarok Queen, who has summoned a few of our hatchlings in the back here, on top of these Ungol Raiders. And one unit I thought about, I need to have a heavily vanguarded Goblin Wolf Riders, so they're going to be popping on the back on top of these Ungol Raiders, trying to shut them down. As of course we know we're going to win the main fight. Now there's some great cycle charging in the back going on by these Sentinels, and they just try and focus this entire game pretty much down on the Crimson Killers, just constantly cycle charging. Try not to stay in there too long, so one unit charges in, pulls back, the next unit charges in, and this is just on constant loops. That's some very good micro there by my opponent. However, the Crimson Killers, you know, they can still cut down Sentinels, it's just not as effective as cutting down these Gore Herds, what they really want to be doing. So in the back, this other spider has come over to help the Arachnarok Queen, and they're trying to snipe out Morgo. They're just punching him over to the ground here. It looks like they've got themselves tied up to the butchers and Calican Guards, but they are anti-large. They should do a fairly decent job. I really need to get onto the back on top of this Eye of Morslip. Just our Skarsnik next to him. He's been sneaky. He's running into the back line here with Noblar, and they're just hacking down Ungol Spearmen. They shouldn't have any problems with that at all. As we can see, we are detaching one spider here into the back, up on top of the Eye of Morslip, dropping down a nice itchy nuisance there, catching quite a few of these units. Now as far as the Blackhawks go, this one on the left is getting a decent amount of kills, should be able to cleave through these 3 damage units with these Night Goblins. And over here, we have punched through the centre line, but these Blackhawks have been taking damage the entire game from the Eye of Morslip, and they're a bit beaten up. And the Crimson Killers are just constantly being cycle charged, really neutering their strength. But even so, still up to 47 kills. It looks like they have trapped a Grey Shaman here, and they're doing a decent bit of work over on him. The Blackhawks have pushed up to try and support these giant spiders, and we're really struggling to get any damage on the Eye of Morslip. It's actually turning out to be super tanky. Hoping the Arachnarok spider will be able to take him down, you know, if it's anti-large super quickly. But he's struggling, also saturated in with these spearmen there. It looks like we have managed to break Morgo there. Swinging the power balance slightly back into the middle. I think we were actually losing it a little bit. And even the Night Goblin Shaman's getting involved. The flow and energy of the war is going through his veins, and he's hopped in on top of this Gore Herd. And he's a decent combatant considering he's a Goblin. So we take an overarching look at the battlefield here. Our Blackhawks are doing pretty decent in this pocket. Now once these Chaos Spawn do disappear, they'll be able to finish up these units as long as they can, you know, survive the spawn for as long as possible. The Crimson Killers are getting very low, constantly being charged by these 2 units of Sentinels. They are up to 65 kills, and it looks like they could possibly break off these Sentinels maybe, as they've broken off one unit and the other unit is pretty damn beaten up. Now it could be disaster over here, so we're trying to chase down Morgo's Snarsneck, but unfortunately he has been a bit isolated, and my opponent does spy this and hops on him with the Butchers of Calican Guard. And yes, he's anti-large, you know, he has the charge defense against large foes, all that kind of good stuff. But he is going to be beaten down by his much more elite combat troops. And it looks like these Gore Herds did manage to block off these Spider and Hatchlings, and Morga has rallied, so that could be disastrous. So the power balance is slightly in my favour now. With this Manticore Summon, it could spin back the other way. So these Ungol Raiders doing a great work here, focusing down these Blackhawks, shooting them from behind, as they're desperately trying to drag down the Eye of Morslip. I just cannot get enough damage onto this guy. The Spider, very disappointed here, not doing anywhere near enough damage, and itself looks like it could possibly be broken. We do have the Goblin Wolf Riders in the back. They're going to be trying to swoop around and shut down these Ungol Raiders. And over here, it looks like the Arachnarok Queen has rushed in to try and save Skarsnik, and also snipe out Morga the Shadow Gate. Now over here, these Blackhawks did as kind of expected and have beaten down all these units here, kind of through them quite easily, up to 111 kills, but it looks like the Crimson Killers finally were finished off and broken. So Sentinels, they're just going to repeat the exact same tactic they were using over here, just for these Blackhawks. But they are getting pretty beaten up themselves, and there is only one unit left. So over here, it looks like we tried to sneak Skarsnik away, but he's being constantly hunted by these Butchers. Wolf Riders do come crashing in on top of these Ungol Raiders. It also looks like Morga's pretty low, but he has managed to break off Skarsnik, and he's just getting chased by these Ungol Raiders, which is a terrible way to go out, being chased off the battlefield by such a cheap unit. we do deploy the spider hatchlings, and they're going to be chasing these guys down, trying to mess them up, and allow Skarsnik to rally here. We do drop down a big itchy nuisance down here, and the Arachnoid Queen is going to be rushing in, trying to punt away these big units and hop on top of the Morgan the Shadowgate here. We can snipe them out, we're still in with a shout, but the power balance has unfortunately gone quite heavily against us. As you can see, this unit Blackhawks looks like it is going to break off, and the spider in fact does break off, and the Eye of Mordslip is still going. We do pop a wire here. It looks like these Blackhawks in the back will just about be able to take those Centaurs offline. So luckily for us, Snarsnik did rally. Morgan's getting pretty low. You can see a big shot coming in there from Snarsnik as well. And he is now isolated over here by this big angry spider and the Night Goblin Shaman. And it looks like we might be able to snipe him out and turn a bad situation into a very good one for us. He's starting to break, and down he goes. The Shadowgate has been slain. With that, the power balance starts helping quite heavily in our favour actually. As we start breaking off these units and chasing them down with these Goblin Wolf Riders, Spider Hatchlings, who have been fantastic all game actually. But Snarsnik is in a ton of trouble here, being constantly chased by the Butchers. So we're going to be trying to slow them down with these suicidal Wolf Riders and Hatchlings, allow the Spider to catch up and do some serious damage. Elsewhere across the battlefield, it looks like these Blackhawks have routed off. We have one left, and they're going to be charging in on the Eye of Mordslip. There's only 18 of them left. He's very low on health, so they should be able to break him off, hopefully, considering they have no leadership now. We do shatter the Butchers over here, and I think that could be game. So very well played to my opponent there. Very closely fought. The power balance was just swinging back and forth the whole time. Could have really gone either way, but a nice Pyrrhic victory for Snarsnik. Let's go to the end stats. So yeah, very well played there to 9-3-9-4. I don't understand what's up with all these numbers. I come up against a lot of people who are just a load of random numbers. I have no idea why. I don't know why you just wouldn't choose a name. But overall, I really like his build. Fantastic play with these Centaurs. 131 kills and 20. Some of those would be Goblins, but a lot of that was on the very elite Blackhawks, Crimson Killers, and so forth. So very well played over there. I also like the pick of the Butchers of the Calcan Guard. They didn't do the best amount of work. They did quite a lot of HP damage. And of course, Morga's always a very good pick, very tanky and lasts a super long time. So for my army, of course, Snarsnik on 54 kills, which is pretty decent, but the real MVPs here, as you can see, are going to be these Blackhawks, 146 kills, 163. Crimson Killers, even though they're constantly subcharged, still got 66, which isn't too bad. 102 on Goblin Wolf Riders, mostly though just chasing down archers around units, and 113 on the big spider here. So overall, super fun build. Not quite sure how actually competitive it is, but coming up against Beastmen who struggle to take down these big monstrous units, and Blackhawks who can just tear apart almost all their infantry. If you take Snarsnik, drop down that sneaky traps, also use the Night Goblin to shroud them, you can get up close and personal. Before they know it, they're in a big old mosh fight with Blackhawks, which is definitely where these Beastmen don't want to be. But super fun game, really enjoyed playing Snarsnik actually. It's a bit of a spirit animal of mine, you know, being all nice and sneaky. So if you guys also did enjoy, please do consider leaving a like. It super helps out the channel. Feel free to subscribe and all that type of good stuff. Stay awesome, guys. See you next time.